All right, CIMA E1 students, welcome. Today, we are diving deep into a partnership that is absolutely critical, the one between finance and operations. And look, this isn't just about ticking a box for your E1 exam. This is about completely changing the game, transforming you from someone who just reports the numbers into a finance pro who actually drives value. Let's get into it.
For a long time, finance and operations felt like they were on different planets. Finance was in one corner, counting the beans, and operations was in the other, trying to grow them. But that old school way of thinking, it just doesn't cut it anymore. So in this session, we're going to tear down those walls and show you exactly how to become a real integrated strategic partner with the operations team. So here's our game plan. First up, we're going to get our heads around what operations is all about. Then we'll look at how to design for peak efficiency using killer tools like the value chain. After that, we'll get practical, talking suppliers and quality. And to finish, we'll pull it all together to show what it really means to be a finance business partner. Okay, first things first. Before you can even think about partnering with operations, you have to speak their language. You've got to understand what they do, how they do it, and why they are, quite literally, the engine room of the entire business. Let's jump in. Think about it. Operations is the heart of the business. It's the part that actually makes the thing or delivers the service to the customer. But it never, ever works in a vacuum. Just picture a big retail chain. Marketing runs a huge sale, right? Suddenly, demand goes through the roof. Operations then has to scramble to get products on the shelves. HR needs to hire more weekend staff. And where are you in all this? Well, you're in finance, approving the budget for all that extra inventory, and then figuring out if the whole promotion actually made any money. See? It's all connected.
At its core, every single operation on the planet, no matter how complicated it seems, boils down to this simple process. You take inputs, you transform them, and you get outputs. Think about a hospital. The inputs are the doctors, the nurses, the fancy medical gear. The transformation, that's the actual patient care. And the output is, hopefully, a healthy person walking out the door. Now, your job in finance is to put a price on those inputs and to understand the value of that output. Now, this slide is a real game changer for understanding any operation, the 4 V's. And for us in finance, this is pure gold. First, we've got volume. A car factory churning out thousands of cars has huge fixed costs and relies on scale. A bespoke tailor making one-off suits has high variable costs. Your whole approach to costing changes depending on which one it is. Second, variety. A fast food joint has a super simple menu, but a consulting firm offers a huge variety of services. Why do you care? Because more variety almost always means more complexity, and more complexity means higher costs. Third, variation in demand. A holiday resort is packed in the summer and empty in the winter. That variation creates massive headaches for cash flow and managing working capital. And finally, visibility. How much of the process does the customer actually see? A self-service checkout is high visibility. A back-office data center is low visibility. High visibility might mean you need to spend more on things like staff training and store appearance. Getting a grip on these 4 V's is your first step to really analyzing any operation. Okay, so now we know what an operation is. The next logical question is, how do we design it to be as efficient and valuable as possible? And that brings us to 2 absolute powerhouse concepts you have to know, the value chain and the supply chain. And here it is, Porter's value chain. This is a classic, and for good reason. It's an amazing tool for seeing exactly where a company creates value. It splits everything a company does into 2 camps. You've got your primary activities, the things that directly touch the product. That's inbound logistics, getting materials in, operations, turning them into something, outbound logistics, shipping them out, marketing and sales, creating demand, and service, looking after the customer. Then you have the support activities, like HR, tech, and procurement, that make all that primary stuff possible. And the goal is simple. Every single one of these steps has to add more value than it costs. So why is this so important for you? Because this is your playground. Your job is to take this beautiful diagram and bring it to life with actual numbers. You're the one who's going to measure the costs at each stage to hunt down inefficiencies. You're the one who will help decide whether to invest in new technology for the operations team. You'll evaluate the performance of each step to see what's really working. You're basically the financial architect of this entire value chain. Now let's zoom out. The value chain looks inside one company. But what about everything that happens outside? That's where the supply chain comes in. We're not just talking about our company anymore. We're talking about the entire network. The upstream relationships with our suppliers and even their suppliers, and the downstream relationships with our distributors and ultimately the end customer. Managing this whole network efficiently can be a massive, massive competitive advantage. And this leads to some tough choices. which Cousin's strategic supply wheel illustrates perfectly. Look, you can't be the best at everything. Are you going to compete on rock-bottom cost, like a budget airline? Or are you all about premium quality, like a luxury brand? Maybe your edge is speed or being super dependable. Strategy is all about making these choices, and your role in finance is crucial here. You have to analyze the financial impact and the trade-offs of whatever path the company chooses.
Okay, we've talked big picture strategy. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of what it takes to run excellent operations day to day. We're going to look at how you manage suppliers, the systems that hold everything together, and the philosophies that build a real culture of quality. When you're dealing with suppliers, there are really two ways to go. There's the old school contractual way, which is basically a fight over the lowest price. It's all short term and honestly a bit hostile. But the modern way, the relational approach, is all about partnership. It's built on trust, open communication, and working together for long-term success. And guess what? That partnership is where you find real innovation and often more predictable costs over the long run. Now, to manage these incredibly complex supply chains, you need some serious IT systems, and they've evolved a lot over time. Back in the 70s, we had MRPI, which was really just about planning for materials. Then in the 80s, MRP2 came along and added machines and people into the mix. But the real revolution was ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning. These systems integrate everything, finance, HR, sales, operations, the whole shebang, into one single database. For us in finance, having one source of truth like that, it's an absolute game changer. So you've got this great data from your ERP system, but how do you use it to deliver quality? This is a huge exam topic, so let's nail this. The difference between quality assurance and quality control is simple. Think of it this way. QA is about preventing fires. QC is about putting them out. QA is proactive. It's about designing a process that's so good, defects don't even happen in the first place. QC is reactive. It's about inspecting the final product to find the defects that have already occurred. The best companies and the most financially smart ones are obsessed with QA. And to drive that proactive quality, there are some really powerful philosophies. Total Quality Management, or TQM, is about making quality everybody's responsibility, building a whole culture around it. Kaizen is the idea of continuous, small, incremental improvements from every single person every single day. Six Sigma is a super rigorous, data-driven methodology. You'll hear about DMake. That's all about systematically stamping out defects. And finally, lean thinking is this relentless obsession with eliminating waste, anything and everything that doesn't add value for the customer. One of the most famous tools from the lean world is the 5S. It's such a simple but powerful way to organize any workplace. First, you sort through everything and get rid of what you don't need. Then you set in order what's left, so everything has a proper home. Shine is about keeping the place clean. Standardize means creating rules so everyone does it the same way. And sustain is about having the discipline to keep it going. It sounds simple, but it dramatically reduces waste, improves safety, and boosts efficiency. Okay, this is it. Let's pull everything together. We understand what operations is, we know how efficient processes are designed, and we've seen the systems and philosophies that make them run. So what's your role in all this? How do you become that true business partner? The answer is simple. You measure what matters. If you want to have a meaningful conversation about performance, you need a common language. And that language is KPIs, Key Performance Indicators. Here's your perfect exam definition. They are quantifiable measures that a company uses to gauge its performance against its strategic and operational goals. In other words, they're the numbers that tell you if you're actually winning. But listen, not all KPIs are the same. Sure, you've got your financial and non-financial ones, but the really critical distinction is between lagging and leading indicators. Lagging indicators, like last quarter's revenue, are like driving a car while only looking in the rearview mirror. They tell you where you've been. Leading indicators, like the number of new sales leads or customer satisfaction scores, are like looking through the windshield. They predict where you're going. And your job as a finance partner is to get the business to focus on the windshield, not just the mirror. This is where it gets real. You have to get comfortable with operational KPIs. Just look at this chart. We've got things like rework level, capacity utilization, order fulfillment time. These are the metrics that keep your operations manager up at night. And they should be on your mind too. The big question is, why? This slide, right here, is the absolute key to this entire chapter. Why do you care about these non-financial operational numbers? Because they are the direct drivers of your financial results.
It's that simple. When the rework level goes down, your material and labor costs go down, and your profit margin goes up. When capacity utilization goes up, you're getting more bang for your buck from your expensive assets, which improves your return on assets. When you fulfill orders faster, you get paid faster, which improves your cash flow. This is the bridge. This is where you connect the factory floor to the financial statements and add incredible value. Okay, let's wrap this up with your key exam takeaways. If you remember nothing else, remember these 4 things. 1. Operations isn't just a cost, it's a core driver of value. 2. The value chain is your go-to tool for figuring out exactly where that value is being created. 3. Philosophies like Lean and TQM are the engines that power efficiency. And finally, number 4, understanding operational KPIs and linking them to financial results. That's what being a true finance business partner is all about.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question to think about. As you go on with your CIMA studies and into your career, you have a choice to make. Are you going to be a traditional scorekeeper, someone who just reports on what happened last month? Or are you going to use what we've talked about today to get out there, to understand the business, and to become a genuine strategic partner who helps shape the future? The choice is all yours. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure you get stuck into those practice questions.